Welcome to A View to a Grill. I'm Johnny. Today we're going to do a recipe. We're doing banana nut bread on the Golden's cast iron mini Kamado. First, let's talk about our two target temperatures. The internal temperature for our banana bread is going to be 200 degrees, while the target temperature of our cooker is going to be 375 degrees. Now that's going to ensure us that we have a beautiful banana nut bread. And now let's go over our dry ingredients. In a bowl, I have a teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of kosher salt. 1 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and then finally as many pecans as you want. Now let's take a look at the wet ingredients. Half a cup of buttermilk, 2 eggs, 1/4 of a stick of unsalted melted butter, a splash of vanilla, and finally bananas. I've done this recipe with as few as 2 bananas and as many as 5 bananas. Today I have 5 overripe bananas. Now let's start off by combining all of our dry ingredients in a large mixing bowl. You can use a sifter to get all of these together. I generally just use a whisk and whisk vigorously. Now let's combine our wet ingredients. I like to use a potato masher to get all of these together, and then once I get about to this consistency, I call it done. And now let's introduce our wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. We'll get those into the large mixing bowl where our dry ingredients are, and then I just like to use a spatula and fold these ingredients into each other. You don't want to overwork this batter, just keep folding until everything is combined. And when you're done, it should look something like this. And if there's a few lumps, that just means you didn't overmix the batter. I'll put the lid on the bowl and wait for our cooker to come up to temp. Now that our cooker has reached its target temperature, I'm going to go ahead and spray our cast iron baking pan with a little bit of baking oil, and then just get the batter into our baking dish. I'll run a knife right down the middle, kind of like an expansion joint, and then I'll put on my pecans. Now you can put pecans into the mixture, but my family prefers the pecans just to be on top. And then we'll get this right on to the grill and close the lid. Now you noticed I have not put the thermometer into the banana bread yet. If you do it at this point, it would simply sink to the bottom. You have to let it firm up a bit before you put the thermometer probe into the bread. After about 45 minutes of maintaining our temperature, you should have something that looks like this. And now our banana bread is firm enough to insert the thermometer probe. Now we'll get the thermometer probe in, and you can see we're really close, 180 degrees. We only have 20 degrees left to our target temperature. Now about 20-25 minutes later, we've reached our target temperature of 200 degrees. We'll get the banana bread out and onto a rack so that it can cool down before we cut into it. Now you can see here that cast iron created this beautiful dark brown crust. And now let's cut off a piece. You can see here that the banana bread is cooked through, moist, and delicious. Thank you for watching A View to a Grill. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, y'all.